Leonardtown and Leonardtown Rotary Club. I'm here really to talk more about the broader concept of service travel. I'd be happy to talk to people about, BeachCorps in the Dominican Republic. I'm probably the only business person who's actively encouraging people to rip off his business model and duplicate it around the world. So I've been working on this for 9 years, since I was the press attaché in the Dominican Republic. And let's start first with Rotary. Now, Rotary is in a incredible position where we're taking on the international task of polio. And we're that close. We're that close. But we need to finish that job for sure, but it's already time to start thinking, what next? What is the next big thing we should take on? And there are many different kinds of subjects, different kinds of areas we can look at. People have proposed malaria, that's a great one. Infant mortality, water. Water is such a huge issue going forward, and it's going to get worse as the effects of climate change continue. But besides thinking about the target of what we focus on as Rotarians, what if we thought again about how we engage? And that's what this is about. This is about using vacations to link Rotary clubs together so that we learn more about each other and support each other's work and grow our own clubs in doing it. So what is service travel? Volunteer vacations, voluntourism. Some people don't like that word. They think anything that's kind of fun has to be kind of light or bad. There's a lot going on in this area. This is a long-term development for the last 20, 30 years. It's still kind of a niche market. Carnival Cruises took the exact model that I've been working on for 9 years, tried to adopt it in the Dominican Republic, in the cruise industry, and they didn't do so well. The good news is we learned some good things from their experiment, and most important, the biggest lesson we learned from there is that people love meeting people. People love that engagement, and a lot of people will want that on a vacation more than fakey little work doing something. They just want to get to know the people whose communities they're trying to help. So right now there really is very little connection between service travel and the hotel industry. So what are the current problems in voluntourism? Well, if you go online, you see a lot of criticism of volunteer vacation service travel. One of the biggest is that the volunteer vacations target the egos of the people who are taking vacations and not helping causes. Another problem is that they create a culture of dependency. You fly in and you are the savior, and people don't have the encouragement or the desire to fix their own problems because foreigners are coming in and fixing their problems for them. So you need to avoid that. This selfie here is one that's shown up a lot as making fun of people who take service travel. The BeachCorps vacations that I do will have no selfie zones all over the projects that we do. Take your selfies at the pool and the beach, but not on the project. And this picture down here is an indication of what's going on in Cambodia in orphanages. Terrible problems going on where volunteers are going into orphanages and actually fueling an industry where families give up their kids and rent them out to orphanages to pretend like they're orphans, and that ends up like harming the children in very demonstrable ways. So, oh, sorry, okay. How are we doing this? Oh goodness. Well, oh yes. Well, the Rotary is particularly has a strong potential in being the world leader in service travel for the simple reason that it's got a worldwide presence, it's highly trusted. The name Rotary is trusted, and that's not something you take lightly. You don't want to, risk your club or your organization's reputation on anything till you check it out. But also the ability of Rotary to bring different sectors together gives you tremendous potential to do good work. So the model that I'm proposing in the Dominican Republic or wherever you want to do it, and I'm telling you now, if you want to take this model and take it to another country, call me up and we can talk about do's and don'ts. But the basic idea is you tack it onto a regular vacation. You take a regular vacation, which most people like regular vacations. They don't want to stay in a hovel on their volunteer vacation, and there is nothing wrong with that. But then what you do is you separate the vacation part from the excursion and the donation part, because your time is important. Your 500 Facebook friends telling about a cause are important, but your money's important too. A lot of people think that, oh, I'm giving my time, it's so valuable, so I don't have to give any money. But what the real lesson of service travel is, it's the combination of attention brought to causes, time and people interaction, and money that really has the impact. And basically, what I've seen is that there are existing service travel and some very good ones going on worldwide. For the Dominican Republic, the comparable one for an 8-day trip is $2,200 to $3,000, staying in a mediocre hotel and supporting causes that are kind of nice, but they're not growing. They don't have a vision. They don't have a destination. And these causes were made up. They weren't there, and then people came and supported them through the service travel. So again, the basic difference, three differences. One, the new model that I'm proposing is to, first of all, work with hotels. Get them to be your partners. Work with the private sector so that they're putting their attention and their focus on things. And we're doing that very successfully already, even though we haven't taken our first trips in the Dominican Republic starting this summer. The second thing is, don't make up causes. Look for real causes with real potential for growth and work with them, instead of ones that just are designed to sort of create work for volunteers. And third, redefine what it is to do volunteer work. People have an image that if they haven't gone down and painted something, they haven't left their mark on a country. And I'll never forget talking to a friend of mine who says, David, I'm getting tired of painting the same wall for the 10th time. And you don't have to necessarily do work to have had an impact on something. And that's one of the main lessons that I would say. And people engagement. In fact, the reason I'm here is because Chris Perlick was a consultant that somebody referred me to on interactive games to get people from different cultures to talk to each other and learn from each other, which is a key component of any volunteer vacation that you ever want to do. So this Rotary model has been confirmed by an independent study by an organization called Tourism Cares. And what they found is that there's enormous untapped demand in three different areas. Number one, affluent travelers. I think Rotary would love to have people who are affluent in their organization and non-affluent people, but affluent travelers love to do volunteer vacations. They have a little extra money that they don't mind sharing while they're on vacation. Secondly, families. Families, there's a big demand for fun, easy volunteer vacations where families get to teach their kids about the world while they're on a nice vacation. And thirdly, millennials and young people. Now this is a really great lesson for clubs that want to bring in millennials and feed people into the Rotary stream through Rotaract and Interact. This model also directly advances the key Rotary goals, the strategic goals, to strengthen and support clubs, to focus on humanitarian service, because when you can have this steady stream of time and money and people coming to worthy causes, including humanitarian causes, you can do more. And finally, by partnering with the private sector and by creating a new network to get your name out there, Rotary's name out there, it can do a lot to expand the good name of Rotary to people and change the understanding of Rotary, because I just joined a year and a half ago. Before I joined Rotary, I basically thought it was a bunch of people networking to improve their businesses. And since I've been inside, I've seen incredible things that Rotary has been doing, including the fight against polio, and at the active club level, what they're doing in their communities. So again, getting back to the idea that service travel doesn't necessarily have to be digging ditches or painting something, or even the very worthy and good use of your time teaching English to people. You could have a service travel thing, a project which is simply showing up at a place, learning about the cause from the locals, and then playing baseball for 2 hours with people. I'd probably make it language baseball, would be a combination of you either hit the ball or you get quizzed in Spanish, or if you're American, or English if you're a Dominican. But just make it more fun and a learning thing. On the right, have you ever been to a resort where they put on these stupid shows, and you know it's the same show? They have basically 7 different shows that they repeat week after week after week, but nobody cares because the tourists are filtering through. What if you went in to a local community and next to 10 or 20 of the locals prepared a show for 100 people, all to celebrate the cause, the fact that you've just donated $2,000 to their cause? That's what I call an empowerbration. I need to actually go register that online quickly. It's going to be a trademark name one day when I have the money to trademark it. But so how would this work? What would happen is, under the new Rotary partnership, which can be done anywhere, a receiving Rotary club and a tour operator basically put together a package to support a nonprofit cause. It can be a cause that Rotary is directly involved with, or it can be an established local cause that simply doesn't have a 501c3 connection, established charitable connection in the United States. The tour operator, they put the price on it. Then you link up with a sending Rotary club, in this case maybe in the United States. So the sending Rotary club recruits the voluntourists, recruits the people to go on the trip, which would be a combination of people in the club and people maybe that they're just trying to recruit or just bring along to show what Rotary's doing. And then that club obviously has to have its own 501c3. The receiving Rotary club makes sure that the money that goes from the donation, which again is separate from the vacation, the donations, say $100 a person or something like that per day, go down to the Rotary club in the host country and then directly to the cause. And then the tour operator in the local cause, local Rotary club help execute the project, or at least make sure it's executed, and then they send a report. So no Rotary club actually has to organize any project at all. They can if they want to. But the main thing they're doing is verifying the cause, making sure the money goes to the right place, and then making sure a report was done on the use of the funds. So it's something that can be easily done on a regular basis, not a lot of work. To give you an idea of the power of this potential, I was recently contacted by a major, in the last 2.5 weeks actually, by a major international nonprofit called Clean the World. Clean the World takes donated soap that's been left behind in hotels, thousands of hotels around the United States, tons of abandoned soap. They sanitize it. They take the little half-used shampoo bottles, and instead of those plastics ending up in landfills, they recycle it. They get this soap to poor people in communities so that they can stay clean and avoid diseases. And there are studies showing the impact that Clean the World is having. Clean the World contacted me, and they've been on CNN. They're kind of a big deal. Oh, that's what click the wrong. That's I just did this last work. This is a project I
So
need to
we're
do.
here at the school, and folks are getting ready for this dental work.
They're doing dental work here, and this would be a great place to combine with Clean the World, because a free soap handout combined with maybe a work to clean up the local community to get them to take control of their own destiny. This community has a lot of problem with diseases from the trash that's all around the community. So a steady stream of people coming in to change that mentality of trash, combined with the Clean the World project, would make a very, very powerful.
Medical checkups, dental checkups, and the kids are excited.
Oh, we got too much going on here.
Found it.
As you've seen throughout this program, hospitality brands are going beyond customer service and into the world of goodwill as good business. Felt taking a snap.
So anyway, the bottom line is that there is great potential for clubs for clubs to create vacations to support your own club, to bring in new people into your club while you link up to Rotary clubs overseas. It's a matter of making sure that you do your due diligence, you make sure you're putting your name and your reputation of your club on the right cause, and then that the proper reports and follow-up work is done to show that the money went to the right place and the impact you promised would happen happened. Thank you very much for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Yeah.